Oh, here's a random thing I could bring up this week. Do you know about the Dragon Quest thing?
Dragon Quest.
Yeah, so
Oh, the interview that was taken
the
down.
interview.
Yeah. Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, there's a new Dragon Quest game coming out, and it's been under fire for a hot minute because first off, Akira Toriyama had like a bunch of his old designs, and he just died. A lot of people love him, so people are kind of sensitive about fucking with his stuff right now. And they released like all the new screenshots and stuff for the new Dragon Quest, and like all of the designs have been heavily censored. Uh, so people are two parts, don't like censorship, don't like messing with Toriyama's stuff. Um, this has been going on for a hot minute. It's been like a couple months or so since this started. And recently, a interview came up between one of the Dragon Quest devs and another guy who's working on a different project. And they were talking, just kind of shooting the shit with each other in an interview about everything. And he straight up says that working with America is stressful and annoying because America has like this weird religious obsession with not being offensive, basically. And his specific example was that they can't just have male female, they have to have type A and type B bodies.
Mm-hmm.
And he specifically said that it was a Western thing, mostly from America. He found it semi-religious in how people enforced it, and he just found it very exhausting. And they kind of shot the shit back and forth about this. And it was pretty clear who they were talking about and who they were kind of pointing the finger at. So a lot of the people who really love the type A, type B thing and really love the censorship they're divided on two lines right now. Some of them are pulling the Dragon Quest devs are like angry old Nazi men that are just homophobic and transphobic and they just hate women. And then you have the other half that they're like trying to roll with this and spin it in their favor. And they're going, well, actually, they're talking about Christian conservatives in America. So actually, it's the Christians' fault that stuff is getting censored. And that's who they're complaining about.
What the fuck?
Yeah, so they're trying to decide what angle they want to take it. But obviously, because it's such a big group of people, nobody actually has like a good concerted effort towards any one thing. So they're just playing both sides, and they look like idiots, basically.
Hey.
And a lot of people have called it out. They're like, "What do you mean, the Christian conservative right?" Like, yeah, there's like a lot of stuff that like some Christian radicalist groups want censored. But when's the last time you heard about anything getting censored because the Christians wanted it censored? I mentioned this specifically on my Twitter. Was famously, there's an interview with Matt Stone and Trey Parker, who made South Park, where they get asked, like, what has been your most controversial release, basically. And the first one they brought up was a movie they did called Team America, which is very funny, by the way. And they said, surprisingly, the most controversial release they've ever had was Team America, other than the depiction of Muhammad that they did in South Park. And it was because they had a whole bunch of far left people that were very angry at them and basically saying they made an American exceptionalism movie. And they were extremely upset about that. So the interviewer says, well, what about like, I mean, you've portrayed multiple animations with Jesus in it and Satan. So like, obviously the Christian right would want that censored way more than the left would want Team America censored, right? And they just straight up go, no, actually, we've never had any major pushback from the Christian lobby except about our time slot. The interviewer's like, what? He's like, yeah, so the only time we've ever had major pushback from the Christian right was they wanted us to move our time slot to later in the night so less children would see it. And they're like, that's basically the only pushback we've ever gotten from them.
I see.
And I think that's important for people to understand, is that even though there is a large portion of the Christian right that really hates specific things, a lot of them come from like live and let live backgrounds. So they just don't bother to complain about it all that much. Most of the really radical stuff you see is typically really small groups of people that don't have much power.
Mm-hmm.
Like Westboro Baptist. Like, people bring them up as a boogeyman all the time. You know their church has like 5 members? Like, people bring them up as if there's some massive group that's outside every single event known to mankind, and there's like literally 5 people in the building. The whole censored part, localizations, is attractive women and unattractive men, just make them all hot. Yeah. I actually agree with people that say the chainmail bikinis are too often on just women. We need to include them on men as well. I don't see any problem with that. I don't know. I'd have to poll some women. If Lumi, would you rather have your men in chainmail bikinis, or do you have another outfit in mind?
Not the chainmail bikini, because that's a little too basic. Oh, wanna know? Hold on. I need to find this image. Give me a second.
Am I going to be able to share it on stream?
Yes. Hold on, give me a second. I need to find these images. It's like, oh, I love these things so much. Normalize these, please. I wish they were not so expensive. They're so expensive.
If we get femboys in it, can I still have my chainmail bikinis on them?
I want corset vests on men.
This is a thing?
Yes! It's a thing, and it's gorgeous.
Here, chat. I'll show you guys what Lumi sent me. It's this thing. It's a corset vest, apparently. What do you guys think, chat? Is this what we're gonna have our himbos in from now on? You said these are
Here's
expensive.
another image. $350.
That's a little high. Oh, it's like an actual corset.
Yes.
Fair enough. I just thought it was like a super tight thing. Clothed in the most expensive clothes and suits possible. Yeah. Trench coats only? Google Final Fantasy 14 GIMP armor?
Oh, no.
Is that a thing, Lumi?
It's one of the level 100 armors that you can get.
I search
Or is it 93?
Final Fantasy 14 GIMP armor, and the first thing that pops up is, what is this casting armor?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, no, that's definitely a GIMP suit.
Oh, and Muffy. Here you go. If you're interested. There you go.
Would somebody like to explain to me who on the team designed this?
I have no idea.
Here, chat. I've seen it, so now all of you have to see it. What is this armor? Who made this? Why?
Don't you want to be a war boy for the Immortan Joe?
No. Why? Wow, I had a bugged robe for a while that exploded midriff on both male and female characters. It was my favorite robe on my blood elf until they fixed it. We definitely need more midriff on male characters for sure. Not whatever the fuck is going on here. That's hot. I love the top. +1 armor. Everybody in chat. This is the healer set? Fuck off. I'm not wearing this shit.
But you don't have to wear it, but it's still funny.
I am 100% get to this point glamour over that immediately.
I mean, we'll have better gear by the time you get caught up.
Yeah, probably. What's he going to do? Beat me with a dildo bat? I demand cum rails. Yeah, cum gutters are a pretty good addition to any character. What are your thoughts on cum gutters, Lumi?
They're pretty nice.
I'm not wearing this when I play Final Fantasy. I don't understand what is wrong with these developers.
A lot.
Apparently. Oh, they knew what they were doing. I guess. God, man. I'm just gonna get the 2B panties and wear those everywhere. Because if you don't like wear something on top of it, the bottoms for 2B are literally just panties, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna get the 2B panties, chap. Some lonely artists, they do not see the sun very often. They make weird stuff like that, but normally it does not see the light of day. They were struggling to come up with ideas for the new armor, so they just opened up the porn vault and they pulled out the first thing they saw. I mean, there's some really nice looking armor in 14, and then there's whatever that is. No offense if you want to wear the gimp suit, I guess, but just know it is a gimp suit. Isn't it a leotard? I mean, if it's on 2B, like, her thing is sort of a leotard, but I'm pretty sure in 14, the bottoms are literally just a pair of panties. They're separate.
The bottoms are just the panties and thigh highs.
Yeah. I don't know how they would do a leotard. It would have to be like a body piece. And then it would like sink down into the pants. You'd have to have invisible pants for it to really be noticeable. I don't know how well that would work though. Because then like the whole point would be to cover over the top piece. Whatever, I'm going off the rails. So we could loop back around to do you have anything before I kind of touch on the last thing I wanted to cover?
Nothing that I could think about. I'm gonna browse Twitter to see if anything new has popped up.
Yeah, sorry chat, this week's been kind of slow.
It is. Tell people to fight more, goddamn.
Yeah. This is a random thing. This isn't huge, but a lot of people are making fun of Bethesda recently because Starfield has a new update coming out, a new DLC. Did you know Starfield had a new DLC coming out?
I've never seen or played Starfield. I've heard of it. I heard it's boring.
Yeah. What that is I opened up the Explore tab for Starfield Shattered Space Reactions because that's what their new DLC is called. And here's a quote by the design director, Emil Peculero, or whatever his name is.
Mm-hmm.
Starfield is the hardest thing Bethesda has ever done and the best game we've ever made.
Jesus.
Yeah, I'm sure Starfield is way better than Skyrim. They got like literally 50 different remasters and people don't even mind. It doesn't work anymore. I mean, I wouldn't doubt it. I've heard Starfield's been like a shit show. Skyrim was only good because it had mods. The newer Fallouts are really only good because of modding. Unless Starfield has like a really robust modding scene, I don't see anybody caring. And maybe that's the problem, right? Is that people kind of excuse Bethesda's other games because there are so many mods where people work on it. But with Starfield, it's just there and you just have to deal with it. IGN gave it a 7.
I mean, when doesn't IGN give anything a 7? Unless it's something they hate.
Yeah. Yeah, that was our friend, the VTuber Armchair guy, made a tweet the other day about, I think IGN gave Dustborn like a 7.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people are complaining, like, oh, they rated it way too high. And I was like, you know, actually 7 for IGN, that's probably pretty normal. That's kind of as low as they go.
Yeah.
Their scale is like a 6 to a 10. and then everything under that means like we genuinely morally hate this because it's against us politically.
Yeah, sounds about right.
IGN under 8, it's bad. Yeah, pretty much. Modders said not creating mods. Game is a mess. Modders have given up on Starfield. Really? Starfield is so badly coders, modders already given up. Yeah, no, it's dead. If they can't bring the modders back in, it's dead. On arrival. Bethesda games have to have mods. I think everybody has recognized that at that point. Because it's not even just for content. Because if Skyrim by itself, I think has enough content for you to justify a purchase. Because I played it on PlayStation originally, and I thought it was fun and it was fine. But there are so many bugs, you have to at least have, like, the modders that patch out the bugs. Because Bethesda has no idea how to squash bugs. They are idiots when it comes to that. They gave Dustborn higher 7 and Space Marine 2 7. I mean, maybe. There's different levels of their 7. I can agree with that. Yeah, no, if the modders have given up, the game is dead. I'm sorry.